All right, so if you guys have been following along with the Fitment Industries YouTube or, following my own Instagram, just that I follow, you should really follow. You should know that I picked up a 1991 Nissan 240SX as my first ever drift car. Now, as you can tell, it's a little bit rough. But you know what? We love the car. I love the car. We actually just went on to the first drift event this last weekend, which if you're watching this might have been a few weekends now, but whatever. But I had an absolute blast with the car. And I want to preface this video just to say that I do love this car. It is a great car to have out on the track. It did everything spectacular. It drove there and back and thrashed all day. But with all the positives, of course, there's going to be some negatives. I mean, we're talking about a 30-some-year-old car here who has seen the drift track majority of its life. So, of course, here are a few things that I dislike or hate about my 91 Nissan 240SX. So first things first, walking up to the car, looking at the car. It is a bright, pale, yellow-green looking thing, but that's not all. We got body panels that have different fitment, about 30 different areas for each panel, which of course is not ideal, but again, it's kind of what you're gonna get. But yes, your hood has different fitment. I think there are some hood risers on here which make it sit up a little higher, but when you pair that with the fender sticking out a little further, the door not necessarily lining up back here, your side skirts being held on by zip ties, which is also its own thing within itself, but then also just the bumpers and everything else. Just you got I don't know if that's supposed to do that or if that's like a drift thing. I've done it once. I don't know. Not to mention, it also does cause a little bit of other issues. We got a KBD bumper here, which kind of just is once again zip tied on, but. I don't, you can imagine when driving the car at 60 miles an hour, to get places that, not necessarily the greatest time. It does feel like sometimes it is about to kind of just shake off the road or body panels are gonna fall off, but that's the nature of the beast. It's a 30-year-old drift car. What else can you expect? So like I said before, I did drive this thing to the track, drove it all day at the track, and drove it home from the track, no trailer in sight. One thing that you would probably want on some sort of street car, I guess you could say, or car that's being driven to events and whatnot, is that, you're probably gonna run into some inclement weather every now and then. So, we got our one handy dandy wiper blade on the passenger side. I don't think this little guy reaches all the way to the driver's side. So, we're just gonna Rain-X the absolute shit out of this windshield anytime we go somewhere, because not only is there only one, but it also doesn't form to anything. It doesn't really connect to the windshield at all, so it's not really wiping anything. Also, I have hit this thing on the inside and it just does nothing. So I don't know if there's a fuse blown, if there's even any wires to this thing. Like I said, the other one is just gone. So yeah. All right, so up next, sometimes you need to get under the hood as one would do. So the first step is finding the actual hood release. There's about a quarter of a dash left in this car. So you kind of gotta, I think that is a plug for something that is no longer there. That's an OBD2 reader. Did they even have OBD2 back then? 91? No, it was 95, 96. I don't know. But finally, you go in here and about right there you go. You hear how hollow that sounded? That was the weirdest sound ever. Anyway, so you get her popped, you walk on over. Of course, you find the little thing, and then it's there's no hood prop anywhere or anything to keep this thing up in the air. So once you remember that, you go back, pop her open. Once again, and then you grab your trusty piece of vinyl flooring and you prop her open. Or if you want to be, bougie, you grab your old Harbor Freight jack handle, pop that down there, and get rid of that. You pop this down there, and that's good to go too. I mean, it depends on, you know, how high you want it. Choice is yours. So while we're under the hood, it brings us to our next point, is that the fitment on these cars is absolutely wild. I've never really ran into a backspacing issue before I've owned this car. So luckily enough, the car is just completely cut up, and we have this nice little tube Marlboro sponsored front end up here, and we just cut everything out. We also relocated the battery and the fuse box to somewhere in the car. So we can, you know, just kind of, if we wanted to, just really step into this thing and take a closer look. So if you kind of get down in here, you can see that it gets pretty close, you know, to the inside of the coil over here. And here's your wheel, here's your coil over. It gets pretty dang close. That is an 18x9 plus 15 wheel we're running up front, and we additionally have a 3mm spacer, because if you don't run the 3mm spacer, you're gonna hit your coil over. That was super weird and also very loud and scary, because I think we chunked a wheel weight off at some point, so that was kind of neat. It just was knocking, and then it wasn't knocking, and then it was kind of shaking a little bit. I don't know what that was up about. But yeah, super interesting wheel fitment on these cars. You need to run something, at least up front, skinnier. It's like an 8.5, 9, with like a super low offset, like plus 15 or plus 12. So obviously safety being a big thing here, you know, we want to stay safe on the track, to and from the track. Like I said, we're driving this thing. Fortunately, we got the most aggressive cage setup that I've ever seen in like a almost 200 horsepower car. So we ain't going anywhere. And you know, it's really great, really nice and safe, but as a 6'1", 200 some odd pound man, you know, you can imagine getting in and out of this thing when it's like, you know, 70, 80 degrees. Okay, all right. Gets to be a little bit of a chore every now and then. We can do it, but my God, am I sore the next day. Not to mention, my new helmet here, got some nice little purple marks around here. We're breaking her in nice and neat. Use some of that. We got some nice purple marks on the old helmet already. So getting put to good use. All right, so we're in the car. We got the fitment figured out. We got all that good stuff going on for us, right? We're at the track. We made her. We're ready to drive. Now, we got a couple different things going on here. You know, we're missing half the interior, actually probably 3/4 of the interior, but we got our old trusty e-brake, which is good because, you know, as you can see, we got this hydro. Everyone wants a hydro in their drift car, even though Sam told me if I use this thing, that he's gonna smack me and disown me. So I'm not allowed to use this. But good news for him, I can't even use it because it's plumbed backwards, I believe. So if I were to even, you know, rip this thing, it is actually pushing my brake foot back at me. So like anti-brakes. Literally my pedal is like coming back at me. Okay. Stop filming this. Stop. Don't put this in there. Oh God. All right. So there we go. Those are some things that kind of hit my distaste a little bit about my 1991 Nissan 240SX. Now, again, this is all just to have fun, poke fun at the car. Obviously, she was a little rough around the edges, but we're gonna fix her up. So let us know down in the comments if you guys wanna see us, you know, work on this car a little bit, maybe resurrect her, I guess, if you want to say that. But again, this video is all for fun, not to shed any bad light on the car itself or any previous owners or anything like that. Like I said, it's an absolutely solid car. It rips. It's fun to drive, and I absolutely love it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, check out Wheels, Tires, Suspension over at fitmentindustries.com. And if you want to follow along more with this, go follow my Instagram, JellsFI. We'll see you guys later. Peace.